My name is Alicia Trout. I'm from Memphis, and we're River City Tanlines. I play guitar. Here's our bass player.
Yeah, I'm Terrence Bishop, Memphis, Tennessee. Bass, 4 strings.
John Bonds, Memphis, Tennessee. Drums.
Well, we have some songs that are a little more poppy than some other songs than our past stuff, and then we were supposed to have a 7-inch on In the Red coming out, but didn't make it out for this tour. So we have actually an album worth of new music, but I haven't got around to recording it yet, which isn't normally been our style, but for some reason that's what life's brought us these days. It's still like a mix of stuff, but some of the songs are really like poppy and not so dark. Like there's actually like poppy love songs, and then there's
Actually, is a dark, trudging one. Yeah.
and there's a dark, trudgy one, and yeah, a little bit more like not dance music, dancey beats or something, rather than really, really fast. Not so much screaming and more singing. I think that came from a screaming like tense, dark band, and that little by little just kind of let that go, and just really lately melody has really like been important to me rather than like kind of like aggression.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of
These guys finally learned how to play their instruments.
It's kind of a natural, as you say, transition. Instead of doing the same thing, be loud and fast and aggressive. It's kind of like, hey, we can do this too. Also lean to this side of music, and kind of just having fun.
Yeah, and they actually pulled the pop things off really well, I think.
Which a lot of people didn't think we were capable of doing. Which they're kind of like, haha.
We're still working on the pop songs because it's a lot better to like. We keep recording stuff, and then we play it on a tour for another, or we play it for another half a year, and it gets better. So we just want to work on it before we record it this time.
Now we have a rehearsal room, which we have not had in like 5 years.
Oh, that is very true. We just got a
We
rehearsal
just got
room.
a rehearsal room because we were touring so much. We couldn't afford to keep a rehearsal room in Memphis.
Live rehearsals.
Yeah, so a lot of writing and not very band situation, environments to put things together. But now we do have a rehearsal room, so yeah, things should be coming along smoother and quicker.
Once you hit about like 33 or 34, 35 or so, you just stop being like Russian. You stop being rushing. You stop being rushed. Rushing yourself. I've stopped being Russian. I'm no longer a Russian.
Slovakian now. We're
yeah.
going for Slovakia.
I've got a new country.
I don't know if any of it really influenced. It hasn't, from what I bring to the table, nothing that I've heard now, or like I said, it was just this band encapsulated, kind of like, let's go a different, not really setting on going a different direction. It just kind of happened.
I mean, even less so that anything outside's influence, because like, I can't speak so much for where y'all were coming out when you started to play with me like 4 or 5 years ago or something, but like 5 or 6 years ago. But I was with a band with like tons and tons of stuff, like keyboards and so many parts going on, and I just was like, I wanted to play in a more simple band. And I think that the one thing that's happened is like we're not losing anything when we try different styles as just a simple 3-piece band.
For me, a lot of times live doesn't transfer to the studio or the recording process. What you do live sometimes is just too overbearing. Then it never gets on record. Like you always hear people say, or bands say, that they can't capture the live feel in a studio. It's kind of very difficult to do that, and just because you're playing so aggressively, that doesn't make to a good signal that goes down, to tape or format. So, you kind of have to learn how to back it off and be a better player in the studio, and which, when you start doing simpler, poppier, or, less aggressive songs, that matters a lot more, So you kind of have to, we've always been kind of like live guys and putting on a show and, playing hard and fast and everything else, and more of an entertaining side from it than the actual recording, even though we recorded a lot. But you know,
Yeah.
you find that out, and it's like, wow, you know, I can't do that when we're recording. So it's the maturity of that is what I've learned. You know, you kind of have to mature. You can't go in there and just think you're going to blow through some recording session in, you know, 2 or 3 hours and, you know, sit back and drink beer. You know, it's so it's been a learning process, man. Now you have to drink your beer as you're playing because it's going to be a while.
I just think that like just chilled out a bit and just I don't get as like tense if something's not going my way all the time. Like I just took it down a few notches. And another thing I learned is like that older people actually like rock and roll, and if you have a bunch of like, you think you want a bunch of hipster looking kids at your show, but really what you want is the old people, because they're gonna like it and they're gonna buy it. Not old people, but in rock and roll, like 40s or whatever, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Ooh.
You know you got an answer for that one.
Yeah, I get pushed a lot. No, I mean it has it's definitely opened up, you know, different doors, you know, from her writing and it just all coming together. It does kind of take you a little bit out of your element, you know, but that's a good thing, you know. I think we've all kind of, you know, done that. And just go ahead.
I was just going to say one of the things with playing in this band that we've all learned also is it's kind of, there's not like a weak link, like somebody's got to worry about the other one. Are they going to be able to play? Are they going to be able to, you know, be up to par if they're not feeling it that night? You know, we still come together, it's still pretty cohesive, and it's, you know, it's not like we got to pull each other's weight. Everybody, even though there's 3 people, it's strong musical, you know, sounds and attitude comes in here, and you don't really have to worry about if somebody's going to be weak or, you know, not pulling their part.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like one of the first bands I've ever been in where everybody's just got each other's back. You know, and that's one of the great things about this one. You know.
Well, they were really like going to being just the guitar player. You know, I just had a lot more. I had to just get better at guitar, and they were just really patient with whatever, with me working stuff out and trying stuff out at practices, or not beating me up if like there's one little part I'm messing up, you know, until I finally get it. And so it has made me more relaxed rather than being pushed and pressured. And now I feel like, I mean, I feel like being a guitar player is all about having a few tricks that work for you, but I just feel like I actually like really got it down, and it just, like, I'm totally comfortable. Like before I kind of felt like, I just want a second guitar, you know, on these parts, and just don't have that feeling anymore.
At first we didn't know if it was going to be the sound was big enough to be filled out, just 3-piece, you know, and then you know, Bubs had to step up with some different drum fills and the way he played, and you know, making things bigger and airier, you know, and looser, I guess. And then I had to step up, you know, play more bass lines, more bass chords, more, you know, something to fill it out. And then Alicia's guitar playing, just, you know, once it fit into that, I mean, she's become just a great guitar player and a monster guitar player. And Bubs and I are really, I mean, we're guitar fans. Like everybody we go listen to, we like their records. It's usually the guitar players that we're after, and we're, you know, yeah, this is great. And Alicia's work on the guitar is, you know, it's some of my favorite guitar playing, you know. And even though she stole all my licks from one of the early days, she's ran with them, you know.
The early days.
Yeah, the early days.
I don't remember. Unfortunately, I did.
That's all right. I stole them from someone else anyway.